Hey, how are you? It's so good to see you. You look stunning. I'm so excited for this. Yeah. How do you feel? Good. Okay, well, I'm just so glad that we get to finally hang out as ourselves. So I don't have a whole lot of girlfriends, as you know, anyway. So this is gonna be amazing because we already know each other, and there's just that much more now for us to share and enjoy together. So I'm so excited. Okay. Well, are you comfortable and everything? I think you're missing something though. Yes, queen. We need to start this off right. Yeah, that's it. You look great. Okay. All jokes aside though, how are you feeling? I know. It can be really, really nerve-wracking sometimes, so you're not alone, definitely. Yeah. I mean, truthfully, I'm never going to be able to know exactly how you feel or what you've been through, but I do obviously want to support and do support your decisions and just what you believe and what you feel, and I'm always here to listen, even if I can't totally see, exactly how something might feel to be in that position. I'll always do my best to understand what that feels like for you, but I just don't want there to be any tension between us because I just want to be here for you. I'm glad that you understand. Can I hug you again? Okay. Thanks. Okay, so I think that we can just talk about some stuff if you wanted to, just a little bit of girly stuff. Yeah. I know I'm not probably your girliest friend, but I think that just having almost 30 years of experience can still be helpful. So I'm just gonna try to field any questions you have, and also I brought some stuff. I laid out a bunch of stuff on my bed before you came over, to just show you, because even though I know you may have seen some of this stuff here before or asked me, or maybe you have some of it yourself already too, I still think that it would be fun to just talk about it and be really real about the different things that go along with these feminine sort of products. And there's just so much out there, and it's daunting no matter who you are. So on that note, I think the most important thing that I want to say is that there's no right way to be yourself and to be happy. Obviously, you and I agree that hurting other people and hurting yourself is not something that either of us support. So I just mean beyond that, beyond anything that would cause any harm to self or others, I don't think that there's just no right way to be a woman, or to be a man for that matter, or to be however you feel, whatever aspect of your life. It doesn't have to be gender related, but since obviously that's what we're talking about, and hello, then that's what we're on today. But I think that confidence is the most important thing, and it's really hard to build confidence as a person, but I think especially as a woman, when you don't love yourself, when you don't feel good about yourself. So just keep in mind that, this is your life and your journey and your experience, and no matter what anyone else thinks or says. At the end of the day, you're the person who has to like what you're doing. And this really actually hit home for me lately, thinking about my body. And there's so much pressure to like look a certain way, or else you're not attractive, or people think that you're, or call you chunky or overweight if you aren't really, really tiny, or if your stomach isn't perfectly flat, which mine certainly isn't. So it's hard to have those negative thoughts about yourself, like when you're not content with yourself. And I think part of the reason I, am unhappy with myself when I can't find myself that attractive is because I don't prefer my own body type. So it can be difficult to navigate these things. And I'm sure that, since you've transitioned, that you're going to have 800 excess, worries and fears and confusions that I probably wouldn't even think of. So there are obvious differences, and I don't want to minimize that. So feel free to like tell me if something, if you have any questions, or if something just doesn't sit with how you feel. Maybe we can just talk about it and figure out a different way, because everyone is different, and that's the bottom line. Like, being a part of womanhood and being a part of this community is really, it can be really cool and powerful and fun. I mean, women are a lot of things, and I think underrated is maybe one of them. So, I don't know. I'm glad that you're a part of our community now, and I think that you're going to be a positive voice and somebody that other women can look up to and feel like, wow, if she can do it, so can I, or why can't I? So I'm just really proud of you. I'm sorry, I'm just so excited. I know I'm rambling, but you're no less of a woman. I'm no less of a woman because we don't fit a certain stereotype or a popular notion of womanhood. So yeah, I think you're perfect the way that you are. And all of this stuff is just optional kind of BS that goes along with being a girl, and it can be really fun. So are you ready? Okay. Did you need any water or anything? Okay. Well, you know where everything is, but just let me know if you want anything and I can help. Alright. So, where do you want to start? We've got skin, we've got hair, we've got nails, piercings. Okay. Alright. So, if I were to pick, I guess I would start with skin, because I think having clearer skin is a huge part of like not only feeling good but looking good. I think that when you aren't dealing with rashes and breakouts and blackheads and any other kind of like crazy stuff that can happen with the skin, it's a lot easier to focus on other things and just feel like glowy and good about yourself. So I have had like terrible acne for most of my life, and now I'm finally starting to like clear up, and it feels really good. So I like to share that. But I've also had like eczema since I was a baby. I had it really bad when I was really young, but now that I'm older, I get like patches when I'm stressed. So my bottom line for skincare is, obviously wash your face at least once a day. I shower in the mornings. I wash my face in the mornings in the shower, and that's enough for me. If I wear makeup that day, I take it off at night, and I don't even splash my face with water. I just use an oil-free makeup remover. There's a lot of trial and error with finding what works for your skin. I know I've talked to you about the Duduosin African black soap, and I think that that is like the ultimate for body, face, everything. It's so natural, and that's all I use on my face right now, my whole body actually, and it keeps me so clear. The only other thing that I've had success with is the not over the counter, it's actually on the shelves at the like grocery store or drugstore. It's that brand Cetaphil, and they have like a foaming cleanser that is really, really good. But I also have really sensitive skin, and I know that our skin types are different in, you know, hue and texture, and we're just different. So we might have different things that work, but don't keep pushing with something if it's not giving you the results that you want after a couple of weeks, because it's probably just not the right thing for you. I've done that before where I just assuming that like something would work over time because it works for everyone else on the commercial, but it's just, you're just different maybe. I am anyway, so find the things that work for you. But I will say, aside from the Cetaphil and the African black soap, the Aveeno brand has these, it's called a soothing bath treatment, and it's colloidal oatmeal skin protectant. And this is so good for any time that you're having like just sensitive or uncomfortable skin. But it's also just nice as like a weekly kind of ritual. I think one of the most important things for being a woman is to schedule some self-care time, because we are always trying to like be who we want to be, look how we want to look. And I think that life is just so busy that if you don't like schedule, okay, every Friday at 5 I'm gonna take my bath and I'm gonna like scrub my feet and make sure all my nails are clean, check my eyebrows really carefully in the mirror, look over my face and body for any stray hairs or anything that just makes me not feel good about myself. So, I mean, I definitely recommend, and this just comes in a pack like this. And you just tear the top off and pour it into like your warm bath, and it does kind of make these sort of crumblies in there that you have to sort of break up with your fingers, but it makes your skin so smooth and soft. It's enviable. So when you're in that bath or shower, if you don't have a tub, you can bring with you a bucket. Just, you can get something from the dollar store even, just like a tub. Fill that with warm water, sit in your shower and soak your feet in there. You can get a pumice stone and or a callus remover for pretty cheap at almost any grocery store or drugstore. Just let your feet soak and breathe in the steam, and after 20 minutes or so, less if you don't have that much time, you can rub down your feet, inspect your nails, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you're nice and clean. And I think that doing that even just once a week is enough to manage. For some people, they may need more, some people less, and that's fine too. But that's just what works for me. And like I said, so much of just being alive is trial and error. So just find what works for you, but I still want to like give you some guidelines at least. Yeah. Do you have any questions so far? Oh, you're welcome. I'm thrilled, so don't even worry about it. This is like a dream come true for me. It's so nice to see other people that you care about happy and expressing themselves, and it's incredibly inspiring, especially for someone like me who's so shy, normally. Yeah, I mean, but that's why we're friends, right? Okay, so after your feet are nice and pumiced and soft, you might want to follow up with lotion. This one's my absolute favorite. Okay, I'll let you smell it. Yeah, it smells so good, right? This is called Tease by Victoria's Secret, so it's definitely feminine, very kind of girly. It's pink. They didn't have to make it pink, but it is. And actually I have the body mist too, which, if you don't know, body mist is kind of like a toned down version of perfume. So like some people wonder what's the difference. Why is this called a body mist and not a perfume? And from my understanding, perfumes are generally stronger and maybe longer lasting than a body mist, which is more just kind of airy. And the reason why I love this smell so much is because it's really light, and I don't like really strong smells. I get headaches so easily. You too, yeah. So like something like this is really nice, and it also makes me feel like I'm not bothering people around me who might also have sensitive smell. So I usually just put that lotion on my feet, legs after I shave, or anywhere else, my elbows if I'm ashy. I'll do that. I don't usually put it on my hands because I usually put my lotion on before I do my makeup. And I'm very serious about not transferring these chemicals to my face. And I think that might be another good like skincare tip, is just to pay attention to what you're touching, what products might have left a residue on your fingers and hands before you touch your face. I think I've talked to you before about the Elta MD. Yeah, it's meant for the face. It's a lotion and sunscreen. They sell it tinted and not non-tinted. Definitely get that from an actual dermatologist's office. You don't have to be a patient usually to like go buy their products. They just want the money. So. But don't buy it like online or through Walmart or something, because there's a lot of fakes. They look the same, but they're not. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, just being careful about not getting body products that you're using onto your face due to acne. There's a larger issue too with just like putting chemicals on your skin. I don't always feel comfortable with that, because I know that there must be an impact that it's having to my body when my skin absorbs the chemicals. And since I'm so sensitive and health conscious, I guess, in a way, I just can't stand that thought. So a lot of times, even when I'm using my body mist or something, I'll spray it onto my clothing instead of my actual skin directly. And I think that that's also helped with breakouts, because I think some people like spray perfume across their chest and stuff, and it just ends up leading to a lot of acne. So find a fragrance that you like, that works for you. If you are concerned about the smell, I have a really, really sensitive sense of smell, and I know you have other friends too, but you can just ask a friend, like, do a trial, do the amount that you think is right, and ask someone you can trust, hey, is this too strong? Should I tone it down? That kind of thing. Sometimes I try to ask my boyfriend, but he like can't smell anything, so I have no idea whether or not I'm overpowering, but I think not, based on my own sense of smell. But you can't always tell. So second opinions are worthwhile, I think. And if someone tells you something rude about you, like for example, in the past, I've had like a selfie or something on like Facebook or whatever, and somebody might say, I don't like your hair like that, or oh, maybe not that bluntly, but just a dig like, I preferred your hair long, or you look better without your lip rings, or, you know, things that kind of slightly attack you as an individual. I mean, sometimes it's interesting to take those perspectives into account because you can see things from someone else's perspective, and you might be so wrapped up in your own thoughts about who you are, whether that's negative or positive, that you can't see that what you're doing is could be improved upon, maybe. I mean, for example, let's just look at the fashion in the late 90s and early 2000s. Whomever thought that a full jean outfit, jean jacket, jean pants, whatever, was a good idea? They were not right, in my opinion. In most people's opinion, I think. So, you know, just don't get too caught up, I guess. Pay attention, but don't pay so much attention. The bottom line is to do what you like, but sometimes people have good ideas, so don't roll that out either, and don't get sad if someone has an opinion. Everyone's going to have an opinion. It's just the way it is, and I'm sure that for you, it's going to be even more so, but you have people like me who are right here on your side and love you for who you are, so just don't forget that. Talk to us more than you talk to them. Okay. All right, what else? I guess since I'm holding it, this is a little hair removing, kind of like a mini razor. And it's got this blade up here that's not terribly sharp. You can touch it fine, but the way that it's sort of like scalloped through here, like on the blade itself, definitely helps, so that when you kind of pull downward on the area, like I use these actually for removing some excess hair around my eyebrows in between waxes. But you could probably also use this like on your bikini line or something like that. And you get used to it. You just kind of down, and it does actually make a little sound like that when you hit hair. It kind of, and you just sweep it away and dust yourself off, good as new. I think these are like golden. However, I have never used one of these on my upper lip because I'm scared, because I tend to get acne on my upper lip when I remove the hair, and I've tried a bunch of different ways. I initially got it waxed kind of on a whim. I just thought like that would be nice, and I think at the time I was wearing a little bit more makeup, like I was experimenting with foundations and stuff, and even though my hair is incredibly blonde, I have a lot of it. So when the person who was waxing my eyebrows was like, do you want all this waxed? I was like, I felt attacked, first of all. But second of all, I was like, I might as well try it. It was a terrible decision. Mainly because I think I'm allergic to the wax, because I always get a terrible reaction, even when I get my eyebrows waxed. It was awful, and I got acne like a couple days later from all of those open pores. So then I started shaving because I thought, well, men do it, why can't I? And I was getting acne like that too. So now I have a very staunch rule. I really only maintain this like once a month maybe. And when I do it, I use a brand new razor. I actually use the Venus ones. I think they're by, I don't remember what the parent company is, but they're not the really fat ones. They're the smaller disposable ones. And I only use that for sensitive areas, but I only use it on my lip right after I've taken it out of the package. It's brand new. I wet the razor and I use shaving cream, just like anyone else would, and shave, and then I wash my face. And I usually do that while I'm in the shower. Never get acne anymore when I do that. So I think that that's something to keep in mind too. Like, even hair removal is not one size fits all. Nothing is one size fits all. Except for the fact that we're all women. So, and on the note of razors, I use men's razors to shave my armpits and legs all the time. I refuse to use a women's razor to do those areas because the men's razors are just better. So that's another like point that I think is good to keep in mind, that even razors or whatever can be, don't pay attention to marketing, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because all kinds of women use male products. I use Speed Stick men's deodorant. I use men's razors. I use men's shaving cream because it's cheaper and it's the same damn thing. There's a lot of stuff that women use, and it does not make you less of a woman to be frugal or smart or sensitive to your body and your needs. So don't think that it's taking away from your transition to still use or start using products that are like marketed towards men. All of that is complete BS anyway. There's the only difference between the women's razors and the men's razors is that the men's ones are better. I've never, no matter how fast I was going, no matter how tired I was, I've never nicked myself, cut myself, anything with a men's razor. Not on my armpits, not on my legs, not my ankles or my knees, any of those really like bony areas that you have to shave sometimes. Nothing. I've been so careless, and it's way better than trying to use the female razors and just ending up with really painful like cuts all over yourself, especially in the armpits. God, that's the worst. And then you can't even like put on your deodorant properly because you have a cut in there. It's really painful. I'm sorry, am I going too fast? Okay. I feel like there's so much for us to talk about. Okay. We're still on the same page and everything. Okay. Alright, so after you've done your self-care and your body's all nice and soft and smooth, again, plenty of women don't even shave their armpits or, you know, legs or whatever. You make all those decisions based on what you think is hot, what you think is sexy, and what you think is going to make you feel good. And try different stuff. Hair grows back. Products can be swapped out. It's not that big of a deal. So try. Okay. But after you have all that done, it's makeup time. Are you planning on wearing makeup? Yeah, sometimes. Okay, me too. So I would recommend getting a little makeup bag. This is mine currently. Of course, it's Harry Potter related. You know me. But this one has just like a big pouch in the middle and a little mesh separator on top, which is where I put like my eyeliners and my eyebrow pencil coloring in thing, which I never use, even though I should, because I have like no eyebrows, but whatever. They have ones that are more organized than this too. They have bigger ones, they have smaller ones, but this is just what works for me right now. And it doesn't have to be a makeup bag intentionally. You can always use any sort of containers or anything that you have. I used to actually keep most of my makeup in like pencil cups, essentially. But then for a while I was traveling quite a bit, so I had to invest in a makeup bag to take with me on the road. And this one just holds everything that I could need, and then some, and then has a little carrying handle, and I just think that something like this is ideal for me. But another thing to tote along is a makeup towel. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I stole this from a hotel that I stayed at. Yeah, it was a Marriott, according to the tag. Sorry, Marriott. I don't think I took it on purpose, but whatever the case, get you a towel like this. If you steal it from a hotel, make sure you wash it. And then keep this around or with your makeup bag, makeup station. This comes really in handy when after you put on eyeshadow, sometimes there'll be dust, you know, on your face. You can just wipe off real quick, or you know what this is, yeah. The torture device. The eyebrow curler. Actually, one of my eyelash curler. One of my favorite things, actually. This can get really like gunky from the mascara, or when you are pressing it, if you've already done your eyeliner and or eyeshadow. Sometimes that can make marks on the curler, like it'll, if it's not fully dry, or if it's just a product that doesn't stick like that, it can kind of transfer a little bit to the eyelash curler, and then you can make unintentional extra marks on your face. So in between curling, I always take a little bit of my towel and sort of rub around the area of the eyelash curler, and even sometimes the little rubber insert that actually does the curling. So yeah, I do think it matters actually what kind of curler you get, because some of them are much wider and larger, and I think that you need something that's pretty close to the width of your own eye, so that you're not accidentally tearing any of these hairs when you're curling. Also, some of the cheaper ones have a more plasticky, like this. Here, feel this. You feel how it's like springy? Yeah. So you want something that's soft here. Some of the cheaper ones have like a more of a hard plastic, and I think that that can be really painful, and also instead of giving a nice swoop to your eyelashes, it can kind of bend them. So, good question. I would invest in an eyelash curler that is a little bit nicer. Granted, I still just got this from the drugstore and it was probably under $10, so you don't need to go crazy. But don't buy a $2 eyelash curler if you care about your eyelashes. And another little like tip is if you're feeling or looking kind of tired, but you don't have time or don't want to do your full makeup routine, curl your eyelashes, just dry, no mascara or anything. Curl them. You can put some lighter colored either eyeliner or powder. You can press, I have, here, let me show you. Like something like this, in like a white, or this one's actually silver. You can just like press one of your finger pads, a small one, into something like this and just dab it in the inside corner of your eyes. And here, I can't get my nail in here. I haven't used this in a while because of these freaking false nails. But you just get some and then tap on the inside of your eye, and that will really brighten you up. Just curling your eyelashes and having a little bit of a highlight inner corner and or right below your brows can really make you look awake and refreshed and very natural and glowy. And again, that's another reason why having skin that you are happy with is a great thing, because you can just do a little bit of curling or whatever. If you have time, you can also put on some mascara and just do the highlight and the mascara, and that's a beautiful natural look that takes 2 seconds before you leave. So I do that a lot for like work. I don't really care to impress anybody at work. That's the least important part of my life when I'm there. So sometimes I'll just do the bare minimum, and that's like 30-second makeup routine. Yeah. Okay, so what else here? Another little hack is to keep your old mascara wand and use it clean. Like, I wash this with Dawn and hot water, and then use it as an eyebrow comb. In terms of eyeliners, there are so many to choose from, and it can be really hard to pick what's right for you. I tend to have a little bit of oilier skin around my eyelids especially, so I have to stick with something that dries like a liquid liner. Like, that's exactly what I'm wearing right now. Or I have to watch my face all day because it will smear and smudge and blot no matter if I use a primer or not. So it's just going to be different. I find that these 3 eyeliners are all from Urban Decay, and they were actually given to me by someone who didn't want them, didn't like the colors, I guess. But these are, let's see, Whiskey is the brown, Sabbath is, I'm assuming, kind of a black, yep, and then Empire, which is kind of like a dark blue. And these happen to complement my natural eye color, so I was like, sure, I'll take them, and they're a little expensive too, so I was like, free makeup, great. But they go on so easy, I'll say that. They're really, really soft, and as soon as you like glide it across your skin, it's the easiest application. However, for me, these just blot everywhere. I can never get a clean line. I just can't get the tip of these to be fine enough, and it just seems to get bigger and bulkier every time I try to like fix something. I just feel like it gets really out of hand really fast, and then it doesn't even last long for me, even though these are supposed to be 24/7. And again, that's not their fault. I'm sure that for plenty of people these are like the holy grail, and that's fine. I'm just as happy with something from the drugstore. This is just like a tiny little Rimmel London, and then this is totally broken too because I never use it, but this is just a little brow darkening. It's a crayon essentially. Brow Drama by Maybelline. And this, you know, if you were to use it, I'm just gonna look in the mirror here. You just kind of like lightly, gently like feather along, and you try to make natural sort of like strokes, and essentially it darkens in your eyebrows a little bit. But like I said, I'm not your girliest friend for sure, and I know you know that. So I'm not trying to act like I know everything. Actually, do you know Tony Bomboni or Latte? Their makeup videos are like some of my favorites. Tony especially is like really good at giving you a lot of care and explaining to you all this different makeup products and stuff. I know that like Karuna, you know Karuna Satori? She just did a video with Jeffree Star's Blue Blood palette on her YouTube channel, and I think that that would be something worth watching too, like any of those kinds of videos where like on YouTube where people are kind of experimenting and explaining. Those are good to watch, so they'll have way better advice than I do. And like if you can get in and see Tony or Latte or Karuna, anyone out there who you think has the kind of makeup advice, I would talk to them about more specific advice for that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna sit over here and tell you that I know what I'm talking about. I don't. But the white one, yeah. I keep that one separate because I use it all the time. So this is that. You can see how much I've worn it down. It's by the brand, I think it's NYX, not NYX. I don't know if you're supposed to say the letters or say it as a word, but the only thing I will say about this again is that it's a little chunky. It's hard after I sharpen it even to get like a fine line. So I just kind of like pull my eye like this and do like a back and forth motion in the corner of my eye until I have a line on the top and a line on the bottom. Then I'll just tell you my routine real quick. Then I use this nude palette. This is a Physicians Formula palette because I have very sensitive everything. Sensitive eyes, sensitive skin, sensitive smell. And I just use this is really embarrassing. I have one brush that I use. It's this one. And it's a MAC brush. It's number 73. And I initially got a brush like this 10th grade, I think, like back in 2004 or 5, 2005, something like that. Eventually that one was just like really worn down. So I brought it back to a little MAC like boutique in the mall, and I need another one of these. And I don't think this is the exact same one, but it's just a really soft, puffy brush. And I just swirl it over like the lighter colors and then blend like from where I just did the highlight. And I just go all over my lid, all the way up to my brow, all the way out to the side. Okay. And then once I feel like those are fairly coated, I take the soft little dinky sponge brush that comes with the palette, and I'll take the brightest color, the lightest color, and this will work for your skin too, so it's not like, yeah. So you take the lightest color, and then get it on like the flat edge part, and I just like straight, you can kind of see exactly where I did the line. But then the most important part after you do that on both sides is to go back with your blendy brush and really work that in until it doesn't look stark. Ideally for me, I like to have it to where, like, you know, if I turn in the sun, you can see a little brightness in that area, but it's not obvious that I just took and made a full line right under my brow. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Yeah, I see that. Mhm. Yeah, there are certainly different types of things you can do based on your actual structure of your eyelid. Like mine are more hooded, so I don't have much of an eyelid. Some people's skin is really like taut on their eyelids, so you can see their whole eyelid, and they can do a lot more with eyeshadow in those areas, whereas I kind of have to like work the crease instead. It's just a different look. Hmm. No, yeah, I think that would look really good on you. Hmm. You did try that? Okay. How'd that go? Mm. Well, I mean, like I said, just keep trying different things, but I think that's a good place to start. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so not to drag it out anymore after that, after I have my highlight on, my eyeshadow on, and my brow highlight done, I just take my liquid mascara, my liquid eyeliner, if I want to wear eyeliner that day, draw my line, which is not easy. You are not alone if you have a hard time with that. It took me years to be able to like make even a somewhat straight looking line. You might remember, I used to only do my eyeliner from like here out because I wasn't confident enough to draw all the way into my eye, and you can always start like that and then work on it. I will say never try a new look on an important day. Practice it ahead of time if you want to use it. If you don't practice it, don't try it. Stick with what you know works and what looks good on you already, because you will just end up in tears if it doesn't go the right way. Yeah, for sure. I know the last thing you need right before you walk out the door is like your confidence to just go down. So I say like try to prevent that as much as possible. Yeah, just like mess around with this stuff when it's a good time for you, when you have nowhere to be, and when you just have some like free play time essentially, and have fun with it, because that's, being a woman can be really stressful enough. And even in the past 5 years, there's been so much more like discourse about womanhood and about transgendered people and just the lgbTq community and everything. And like, you know, we're both a part of that, so it's interesting to see how things are going, I guess, for women. But I don't know, it just doesn't change the fact that the only way you're going to be happy is making yourself happy on the inside. Do the things that make you feel good as a woman. Yeah. I know. It is. It's just a shame that everyone gets so caught up in what everyone else is doing. I'm caught up in what you're doing because I think it's fly and amazing. I want to be a support system. But I don't like it when people get caught up and they're just being negative. It's like, find a hobby. Seriously. Okay. So yeah, I'll do my liner if I want any. Then I'll curl my lashes, because it's really hard to do liner after your lashes are curled. The lashes get in the way. So there's another little tip to save you some time. Do your liner first, then curl your eyelashes, mascara last, and make sure you kind of like don't look down or up right after you do your mascara, and don't like widely open your eyes, because it'll make a bunch of marks all over your eyelid that you just made all pretty. So just I kind of like tilt my head back a little and close my eyes a little bit and like fan them to try to dry them off. I had, she's still somebody that I consider like a really, really close friend, even though we haven't seen each other in over 10 years. But we grew up together, and she was one of my few feminine girlfriends that I've ever had. And she actually was the one who initially tried to teach me how to do makeup, because I didn't have anyone else in my life to do that for me. So I know how like important this moment can be, which is probably why I'm so spastic and excited. But she helped me with a lot of that stuff, and I'll never forget the first time I watched her do her makeup. She used a blow dryer on like the cool setting to blow dry her eyelashes dry so that she could be quicker, because her makeup routine took so long. But yeah, that always cracked me up, like blow drying your eyelashes. I don't think you need to be that excessive if you don't want to, but it's an option if you're hard on time. Yeah. And that's it for me. I don't wear foundation. I literally don't do anything else. That's it. I did bring 2 lipsticks that have worked for me. And essentially what I'm doing is showing you all of the foolproof stuff. I'm like, consider myself to be on the lower tier of femininity. Can't even say the word. They won't let me into their club. So I'm kind of showing you like the fail-safe, idiot-proof things for womanhood, I guess, and being girly, which are not the same thing. You don't have to be girly to be a woman. But if you want to express yourself in any of these ways, these are the only 2 lipsticks or lip wear that I have ever found to work for me and not get all over my freaking teeth. I also have a hard time wearing lip wear because, number 1, I have piercings, and if I'm wearing a ring instead of my studs, it gets in the way. So I just have to remove my lip ring and then put everything on and then put my lip ring back on. Which is fine, but it can just get a little obnoxious. So I don't tend to wear anything on my lips. Another point being I have insanely chapped lips. I don't know why. I drink excessive amounts of water, probably too much water. I don't smoke. I don't have any other issues that I know of that are related, but I have historically always had incredibly chapped lips. Did I tell you about? Did I tell you about that one time that I was tutoring in college? I was tutoring philosophy to this woman, and she was just staring at my mouth while I was talking, and I didn't really let it faze me because some people have a weird, I guess I shouldn't call it weird. To me, it's weird. Some people have a thing where they prefer to look at people's mouths when they're talking instead of like elsewhere or in their eyes or at their forehead or just kind of looking around. Some people stare really intently at a speaker's mouth. And she was doing that to me, and I just thought, okay, well, she's just one of those people. But then when I was mid-sentence explaining something about, I don't know, Immanuel Kant or someone, she just burst out and said, "Girl, you need to drink more water." And I was like, "Excuse me? Your lips are so chapped." And I was like, "Are you kidding? Like, I'm taking time out of my day to teach you this crap that you didn't read. And instead of listening to me, you're criticizing my chapped lips." I'm like, "I'm sorry, but I have it under control. I drink plenty of water. They're just chapped. And chapstick doesn't help. I've tried everything. I even have these little pods that you snap the top off, and this really clear, silky, like lip gel comes out. It's supposed to heal your lips, yada yada. Girl, if you find something that helps with chapped lips, please let me know, because I have no idea. Okay, so these two real quick. This one is L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Matte Gloss. And the reason why I wanted to try this one is because it's matte. Okay, get some of the color here. So this is a kind of peachy color, and it feels so good on the lips, and it makes a really nice setting, and it doesn't wash away too easily, but it definitely doesn't compare to this. This is called Superstay 24 Color. It's by Maybelline. It's a double-ended device here. This side has the color, which you can see is very thick. First, you put on the color, and you have to be super careful because it's really bold, and if you get outside of where you want it to be, good luck getting rid of that, because it really does stay. You let it dry for, I think, 60 seconds or something. Doesn't say on here, but you let it dry for like a minute, and then you use the other side, which looks like chapstick essentially, and you, once it's dry, you put this over that to give it that shiny kind of wet finish. This will not come off. I mean, I don't even know how to get it off. I just let it fade over time because it's so intense. And you don't have to get such a dark color, but this is just a cranberry shade that I like for myself. Yeah, okay. And again, in terms of like picking out which colors are good for you, you can Google stuff, but I would also ask other people who are more, makeup efficient than I am. But you can kind of tell sometimes like what makes your skin pop, you don't want to make your teeth look yellow, you don't want to make your eyes look small, you want to like be bright and airy, usually, most people, to look young and fresh. So there are certain like lipstick shades or eyeshadow shades that you might want to avoid or go for to help enhance your natural shades, you know? And I might not know all of the things that are specific to your skin type and skin color and all that, yeah. Okay, are you gonna use foundation and still thinking about it? Okay, well, I think your natural skin is really, really pretty, so I think it'd be easy to work with what you have, but it's up to you. Yeah, it's all up to you. That's the whole point. Okay, so what else, girl? Let's see. Glasses. Are you gonna wear any? Still thinking about it? Okay. Same thing applies. You know, there are all kinds of like shapes for the lenses. I brought a few different pairs here if you want to like try them. These are all my glasses. These ones are old. I haven't worn them in a long time, and they're like an outdated prescription. But the frames are like this really cute tortoise shell, but it's pink and brown instead of like golden brown. Here, okay. And I have these darker blue ones that kind of, I think, look good in contrast, like with my eye color. Yep, okay. And then I also have these two pairs, which are the same pair in different colors. So that's another thing to consider, is to, if you find a style that you like, buy it in multiple shades, and then you can match around with your outfits and kind of give yourself a different look. I think this is a more like modern and artsy look, so I'll wear these with those kind of outfits, and this is more of like my everyday kind of like warm and fuzzy being. And the blue ones that I gave you, the dark blue ones, I also wear a lot, and I think that they go with a lot of darker outfits too. So yeah, and I get all these glasses from like online retailers. So like I buy direct and like Zenny Optical. What's the other one I've used recently? I don't know why it's not coming to me. I think that's where I got these ones at too. Oh no, these ones are I buy direct. Can I see those? Yeah, I'm not sure. I know the tortoiseshell ones that you have are from Warby Parker, which is another online retailer. But they're a little higher budget, I guess, because those ones cost me like $90, including the prescription. And then the I Buy Direct ones were like $7, including the prescription. Yeah. So you can get a lot of different kinds. Like even if you don't have a prescription, you can get a whole lot of different kinds of frames and sort of like mix and match with what you're wearing. Are you gonna get any piercings? Okay. Well, there's definitely nothing to be worried about. I've obviously had a lot of piercings, and they're really not that bad, to be honest with you. Especially the earlobes. I think it's a good thing not to get your earlobes pierced until you're fully grown anyway, or mainly fully grown, because your ears grow with you. And like I got mine done when I was still growing, and now my holes, even though they used to be like pretty symmetrical, they're a little different now because I've grown. But when you get your ears pierced, go someplace reputable. Go to either a tattoo shop or a nice piercing shop, like a place that sells jewelry and does not like a Claire's or something like that, but someplace sterile, nice, and where the people are certified to be doing what they're doing. Whatever the case, all that happens for your ears is it's a really quick little clicking sound, and then your ears just feel hot. That was it for me. Just warmth, a lot of warmth, but not a lot of pain. So I think that that's the easiest one to do. Yeah. My cartilage, I actually, I don't have an earring in it right now, but I got that pierced the first time and didn't take care of it well enough because I was young and I was playing a lot of basketball at the time, so I had to cover it with tape. And I think sweating and having that covered, I ended up getting an infection, and I had to take it out, let the infection heal, and then I had like a sort of a hard, I think they're called keloids or something like that, sort of a hard bump on my ear in that spot that I had to, over time, I massaged it a lot, and like it's kind of broken up and it's not there anymore. And then I got it re-pierced later in life when it was a better time for me. So I think that would be the only thing. Piercings really aren't that painful. They do take a few weeks to recover though, and you need to kind of baby the area during that time to avoid infection. But yeah, and you know, they actually have like some pretty cool costume jewelry now too that you can clip on and stuff like that if you just wanted to see how it looks first. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any questions? Nails? Oh yeah. I don't think it's worth it to get your nails done all the time because it is kind of expensive, and I'm always like a guilty tipper, so I tip a lot, and it ends up being kind of expensive to maintain, especially when you get fakies like these. So I only do this every once in a while, and I'm actually probably about to get them removed and let my nails breathe a little bit, because you are, even with polish, you are kind of covering that natural barrier between your skin, your nail, and the world. So your nails degrade in quality when you slather on, especially like reds, really intense colors can discolor your natural nail over time. So you always want to make sure you give it a rest. And I think that it's like that for almost everything. Your makeup, your shampoo, switch out. Any products that you're using, try to give it a rest every once in a while to let your body sort of bounce back and be prepared for the next time you want to do something. It's not an insanely good idea to just continually cover your face and body in inks and dyes and chemicals all the time. Yeah. And we just don't know what the long-term effects of all that are either. So I know I'm a little weird about that kind of stuff, but I think that it's important, and I think that logic shows that these things do matter. So yeah, so I mean, but getting these, not painful, a little time consuming, a little expensive. Yeah. I think just like a nice nude color, or I feel like French tips have a little bit gone out of style, but I think they can still look really, really classy and nice, especially on your toes. If you don't want to like go all out with your nails, I would just keep a file around and shape them a little bit. You'll be amazed how much of a difference it can make to just shape up those rough edges and not leave them at weird angles or with any of your nails kind of jagged or broken. And I like to keep mine all at the same length for the most part, so if one breaks, I cut them all down and let them all grow back together. Yeah, it's just a personal like quirk though. Can I see? Yeah, let me see. Yeah, you have nice hands and nice nails. I definitely You'd look good. You'd look good with a lot of colors too. Yeah, your nail beds are really nice. I think that you'd have a good shape. Yeah. And have you ever gotten a pedicure? Also very fun and everything. It's like pretty relaxing. You get a little bit of a massage, which can be better or worse depending on who your person is who's doing it for you. Some people are really, really gentle and others are a little more aggressive, and it just depends on what you like, but it is a nice kind of relaxing experience, I guess. I would say make sure that you're kind to your person by having relatively clean feet and legs when you go. But I also think if you're doing like the self-care stuff and doing the pumice and the callus remover and the baths or the lotions, you know, whatever, that you might not need like an intensive pedicure. And I think that it's pretty easy over time to learn to paint your own toenails fairly well. And you can always use like Vaseline or Elmer's glue, non-toxic or something like that, around your nail beds on your toes to keep the nail polish from running while you're learning. Yeah, it's a good little tip. Okay, let me see. I think the last thing maybe that we should talk about is selfies. Because what girl doesn't want to take a selfie? I'm sure plenty. I'm just kidding. But mainly what I mean by this is like learning to work with your face, your bone structure, the things that you like, the things that you don't like about yourself, whatever it is. I hope you love everything about yourself. I do, but I know that we all get self-conscious sometimes or have our quirks that we feel about ourselves. So I will say, try taking so many different selfies and try, you know, with your chin down, with your chin out, to the side, up. Try taking that picture where you're looking from an angle down or from an angle up or to the side. Learn how far to tilt your head to look cute versus a psychopath. Learn when you should smile a little versus when you should stare or pout a little bit. You don't need to go full on like kissy face or duck lips, whatever they call it, but you can kind of like settle your face in such a way that you're giving a high fashion stare, right? And it's really hard to learn those things. Some people are like really naturally photogenic, and no matter what face they make or expression they make, they always kind of look good, and you're like, what the hell is that? If I did the same thing, I would look insane and no one would ever want to talk to me. So I think it's really important to practice, especially if you want to have those moments like with your girlfriends or whatever where y'all are taking a group picture or something. You need to know, like, okay, I can't be the one holding the phone. I need to be, showing my left side and not my right side. Or, like, I feel more confident when I'm straight ahead to the camera versus at an angle or whatever. Or, like, oh, I like to look over my shoulder. I mean, just play with it. And you can find, like, a pose that you really like. You can make a heart or a peace sign or anything. I mean, whatever you want to be your move. If you find a pose of your own that you really, really like, I would find a few faces and poses that you think you look good doing and use those for, practice. Yeah. And then over time, it might get more natural. I know for me, it has not. I'm terrible with taking pictures, and so I hate posing, and I never feel feminine or pretty when I pose for a picture. So usually I'll, depending on the setting, either smile or just do nothing. But I think you have a way prettier face than I do, so I don't think it's gonna be much trouble for you. I made it. For sure. Let's see. Oh yeah. Get you one of these dumb things. They're cheap. And you stick your phone in here and you can angle it. Do not underestimate the power of the selfie stick. I know that it's dumb. I think it's dumb anyway. Clearly it's not dumb because it's a great invention that has allowed us to take pictures like we could never before, which is super cool. But just, I feel kind of silly, I guess, because when they initially came out, it was like such a touristy, like losery type thing. But, you know, then you have people like Kim Kardashian who made like a whole book of just selfies that she used a selfie stick for most of them. So if you can't get a good angle with your own arm extended or setting your phone on something, don't be ashamed to buy a selfie stick, because if you're going through all this work to look as good as you do, work it. Don't give in to peer pressure and think that you're higher and better than the selfie stick. I thought I was better than the selfie stick. I'm not. My photos are inevitably better when I use the selfie stick. So I actually would like to give you this. Yeah, I want you to have it. It's been my favorite one that I've had, and I think that you'll just have so much fun playing around with this and like really getting to see your body and see the different angles that other people see you from, and just like, it's so much fun to be able to take an artistic photo of yourself with no one's help. Oh, you're welcome. I'm just so glad that we could do this today, and I'm so glad you came over, and I hope it wasn't super overwhelming, but I'm just really proud of you, and I'm really glad that you're here with us. It means a lot what you're doing and what you've done, not just to me, but to all sorts of people who need encouragement and motivation and inspiration just to be themselves. So you're really brave, and you deserve a lot of credit for all the crap that you've gone through and are going through and will continue to go through. But I hope you know that there are people like me, thousands, hundreds of thousands of us out there who don't care, who want you to be happy, and who love to see other people feel good. And I just hope that you don't concern yourself too highly with other people's opinions if they're negative, because people have negative opinions of all sorts of folks, no matter how they were born, how they live now, what their orientation is, what their race is. Everyone has things that they pick on other people for just, it's just really unnecessary, you know what I mean? And I know you know that, but I'm just repeating it because I think that what you're going through right now can feel so lonely and can feel isolating and alienating, and like the world has singled you out to pick on you for being yourself. And I don't want you to take that any harder now than you would have before. Like, you deserve to be happy. Whatever that means for you, you deserve that. And you look happy. I feel good when I look at you. I feel happy for you. And that's how people should feel for other people who are happy. So just know that any hate that you might get, any people who might make you feel uncomfortable, don't even give it a second thought. Don't imagine that they're treating you differently or doing what they're doing because you're transgendered. They're just a bad person. It has nothing to do with your transition. It has everything to do with who that person is inside and what they think is right to how they feel like they should act towards their fellow human beings. We all get crap from people. You know, I've been bullied my whole life. I know you know that. I know I've talked about it. And it doesn't change. It doesn't matter how pretty someone thinks you are, or what you were born with or born without, you know, that those things are not important to the character and quality of a person on the inside. And I just think that we should all celebrate each other's happiness, and I hope that you wear that crown for the rest of the day and the rest of the month and the rest of the year and the rest of your life. I just hope that you always feel like you have a crown on your head and like your biggest fans are walking right behind you and cheering you on, because we are. Of course. Well, I love you. I know it's getting late. You're probably getting tired. You want to go lay down and just hit the hay? We can watch Mean Girls or something. Alright. Sounds good. And if you want tomorrow, you can pick out like a color or something, or even right now I can do your nails if you're not too tired. Okay. Alright, let's do it.